Weight loss. So I just want to talk to you and give you a few tips too, aside from the Sisel products that you can use to support a healthy weight or support your weight loss journey. Or what are the sort of things that you can do on a daily basis that will help you maintain better weight? And I guess I speak from experience because just to share a little story, when I was 13, well, when I was young and even younger than that, I was pretty overweight, like obese. And I had no friends at school because I used to get teased for being fat. And primary school was pretty awful for me. I had no friends at school. And then when I left and went to high school, the same thing happened until I remember one day I was sitting on the couch and I was eating some chicken chips. And my friend, who was also 13 at the time, turned to me and said, "Do you really think you should be eating those?" And I remember thinking, what does she mean? Like, I know they're not good, but like, then I started to realize I actually didn't understand anything about food. Like, I couldn't tell the difference between, like, I didn't understand energy value of food or how to read a label or what I was really putting in my mouth. So I went and purchased a calorie counter, which you could purchase from the newsagent back then. You can order them online. I have seen them in bookstores. And I started studying this calorie counter to understand how to read labels, understand the energy value of food, and understand how many calories do you actually need to be consuming to maintain weight, lose weight. Now, it's not a hard and fast science because there's some things that can vary with the calories, which I'll touch on in a little bit. But generally speaking, if you want to maintain good weight, you do need to understand the energy value of food that you're eating, because one example would be, say if you were going to have a dessert, like maybe a muffin or something, you'd want to know that this particular muffin here is only got yields 200 calories of energy, whereas another muffin could have 600 calories. So if you didn't understand how to read a label and didn't understand energy value, then you're not going to make the best choice for your treat or sweet or whatever you're going to have. So I feel that's an important tip just to share, just to really try and understand how to read labels a bit better. Another tip I've got there is just to stop eating when you're full. So, a lot of us continue eating even after our tummy's full. And this is quite a habit to develop, and also eating a lot slower so brain can register that you're full. And of course, a lot of that will come back to addressing emotional issues. So, recognizing that you might be eating, you're not even hungry, but you're feeling, sad or angry or whatever the emotion is keeping a food diary and acknowledging how you're actually feeling when you go and eat that, big piece of cake or half a cake that you think you shouldn't have eaten. So if you can try to start connecting your emotions. These are all the things that I started picking up at a younger age, and I've just jot them down because these are just the notes that I have. Watch drinks with hidden calories. That's a big one. So, having soft drinks and orange juice and definitely alcohol, lots of hidden calories in there, no nutritional value or very little to none. And you're just packing on extra calories that will turn ultimately, if not used as energy, would turn to body fat. I mentioned that a calorie is not a calorie because you could have, say, 200 calories of nuts and 200 calories of Coca-Cola. They won't turn to fat in the same way. It will take a lot longer for your body to digest the nuts because it has fiber and it's not going to spike your sugar levels. Whereas with the Coca-Cola, that's going to spike your sugar levels straight away. And if you're not doing enough exercise, then you're going to turn that to fat really quickly. Not to mention that all that sugar's not really good. So calorie is not a calorie also in the sense that they've found recently that they're actually having to revalue fiber content of certain foods like nuts and vegetables and that, because they're finding they actually yield less energy than they thought they did, because it takes so much effort for the body to break down fiber, and these sorts of food are high in fiber. So I could talk a lot on that topic, but I'm mindful of time and I don't want to go over tonight, so I'll continue on. Okay, so filling up on fibrous foods, we mentioned your environment, so dining out or getting takeaway food too much. So you know, just watching how much takeaway food you're having and obviously making more home cooked meals. And what's in your cupboard. If it's not in your cupboard, you can't eat it unless you actually get in the car, drive down and buy the food. But if it's in your cupboard and you've got chips and chocolate in there, chances are at some point in time you're going to consume those. This is kind of difficult if you've got a family and you're catering for kids. But, you know, obviously as the parent, you can try and lead by example. So the cupboard one's a big one for me. If I don't want to eat it, I make sure I don't buy it. If you reach your goal weight, this is another big one. I find if you reach your goal weight and you're happy with it, don't wait till, if you gain an extra kilo, a kilo and a half, then act. Make those adjustments again to bring your body back to the weight that you want it to be at. Because if you let it go, wait for that 1 kilo to go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's a much bigger task and effort to get yourself back on track. And if you're not weighing yourself, which, you know, I don't really, it can be, you know, discouraging because weight goes up and down, but, you know, you can really tell by, say, your belt or your jeans. So that's another good tip that I think. And of course, exercise is really important because it boosts your metabolic activity, and it is important because obviously for overall health, they say lack of exercise is the new smoking. But you don't have to exercise to lose weight. You could lose weight without exercising. I'm not encouraging it, but it is possible because at the end of the day, if you're consuming less calories than what you're actually burning, then you will lose weight. So for instance, like when I had an injury not long ago, and I knew I was going to be quite sedentary for 4 weeks, I actually reduced the amount of food I was eating. Firstly, you're not moving as much, so generally, hopefully you're not as hungry. But if you would reduce your food intake based on your activity output. So there are a few little tips that I've picked up along the years. So I just thought I'd share those before we get into the Sisel products. This is another great one. Of course, everyone who's enjoying Bob Proctor, then you've probably seen this before, and that's where Bob talks about, I'll just minimize that screen. He talks about that if you're trying to lose weight and you actually see yourself in a certain way, if you don't alter your self-image, then the weight loss will only be temporary. It will come back again. So you want to actually see how you want to look. How do you want to look in your clothes? How do you want to feel? And really associate that feeling with it. So that will really help you achieve your goals. So there's a lot of self-image there involved. And I just thought it was important to mention that because I don't think it can be disregarded. Okay, so there's a few weight loss tips. So let me talk about, let's move this out of this way. Okay, so Sisel's SupraDetox. So I would recommend if someone is thinking about weight loss or trying to manage their weight, I think this is a fantastic product to include as part of your regime. So SupraDetox is a fairly inexpensive product. I think it's around, including GST for a distributor, $39 from memory. And this particular product is designed to remove the mucoid plaque and excess fecal matter that's backed up. And so this is really important because most people don't eat enough fiber. And if you're not eating a fibrous diet, then it's going to be a lot harder to maintain or lose weight because transit time slows down and things aren't moving through quickly. And so the body has plenty of time to convert all that to excess calories to fat. Whereas when you're eating high fiber, it moves through the system really quickly and you generally can eat quite a bit more on a high fiber diet. So this cleanse is great to kickstart someone and kind of give them a bit of a shake up and say, okay, I need to get things moving. People report feeling really wonderful after taking this product. It's a 4-day program. And it also helps to improve the nutritional, supports your body's nutritional supply. So mucoid plaque can cover the lining of the villi in the small intestine, which can block nutrient absorption. And that mucoid plaque builds up over time. And this particular product goes in and helps to clean all that out. And so that's why we're saying it can support improved nutrition supply. And it's just really a great product. Now, you could take this product 3 times a year. I know some people take it. I know someone that takes 1 a day. I know that Rowley, if you're on the call and you want to unmute and chime in, feel free. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I know that she mentioned she had a family member taking it and had great success with it. So that is really good to know. So I'll move on to the next product. So that's a 4-day cleanse. Now, it is really hard to read the bottle. It's in such tiny print. It's like size 6-point font, or maybe even smaller. So you probably need to give someone the fact sheet if they're going to take this product. I've just blown up the image, and it's a 4-day program. So you take one in the morning, one at night the first day, 2 the second day at night. On the third day, take 1 in the morning, 2 at night, and on the fourth day, 2 and 2. You do need to gauge yourself. It's very important that it must be self-regulated. So they want you to have 3 to 4 bowel movements a day. And if you're going more than that, then you would need to decrease. If you're going less than that, you could increase by 1. I've had people go and take this product and they've hardly gone at all. That probably means that there's a backlog of stuff that needs to be shifted. Firstly, I would recommend having more water and more fibrous foods in the diet, but then they might need to go and do it a second time. So everyone's a little different. So Marsha's got her hand raised.
I just wanted to comment that I did this last weekend. And
did you?
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. And I did have several bowel movements a day, and they're not always, very pleasant. I had a few cramps in my tummy. But I kind of celebrate that. It's like knowing that your body's having a really, really good clean out. And I had a tiny little rash on the side of my eyes.
Yes.
And that just completely went away. So it's just
Really?
a build-up of those toxins. Yeah, I'm really, really happy about that, because I had that for a couple of months and I just thought, I'm so healthy, I wonder what this is. But it really is just bacteria that is stuck. It's stuck inside your colon, and, you need this mucoid plaque remover to get rid of all that bacteria. Mucoid plaque is just hardened bacteria. It's gross. So, I feel great. But, if you do get some pains in your tummy, I would just suggest taking extra water. Make sure you're drinking lots and lots of water when you take this product.
Yes, definitely. So great. Thank you for sharing. And, fiber, this is getting things moving, and it just, obviously you can lose weight just from the 4-day program. It may not really be body fat, but, you'll lose weight on the scales because you'll remove that backlog of waste matter. So great product. People love this product because they feel so good. So this is a good product to start someone on. It's not a big outlay, and they will get results. So, okay, so we'll go to the next slide. Okay, so I put together a weight loss kind of guide. If you were going to use the Sisel products, what products could you use in what order to lose weight? So, if you're having breakfast, mid-morning, lunch, afternoon tea, and dinner. So here, actually, I think the asterisk said, if you're only having 1 meal a day, if you're only having 2 meals a day, then you would need to go to, I guess, 1 for this to work, because you really still, at the end of the day, the idea is that you're actually consuming less calories than you're burning, and you're reducing your overall calorie intake based on what you normally eat. So therefore, if you reduce what you normally eat in terms of energy, then you ultimately will lose weight. So the recommendation for Sisel Lean, if you were to follow the packet, so say you were eating 3 meals a day and square meals, and so I'm not talking about having all snacks in between before meals and after dinner and all that. That will kind of blow things out of the water. But if you're having 3 meals a day and instead you replaced 1 meal a day with Sisel Lean, then you would lose weight. So the way Tom Senior devised this program, he made this assumption, this is not always the case, but say each meal you're having 700 calories. So that would be 2,100 calories in a day. And so say for a woman that was moderately active, that would be about the amount you could consume, and it could vary a little bit, but that would be about the amount you could consume to maintain your weight. So you can see that if you took out 1 meal and it was 700 calories and you replaced it with a Sisel Lean, which is only around 100 calories, now you've dropped your calorie intake by 600 calories a day. And that is certainly sufficient in that scenario for you to start losing body fat and weight. So that's how Sisel Lean's been designed to be used. Now, you can use it for other purposes. If you're an athlete, you want to help build lean muscle. You could even have two shakes a day, depending on what you're adding into it. and depending how much food you're having at the other meals. But without going too much into that, I'll just run through the program here. So either breakfast or lunch could be substituted. So breakfast or lunch, I've got the asterisks, and I'll go through the guidelines on the last slide. But Fire and Ice and H2, I think, have worked well for me in the past, particularly when I was doing fitness competitions and I was hungry, but I wanted to curb that craving. And so Fire and Ice tea does a great job at that, and so does the Sisel H2 stick. So sometimes it might even be easier to have your Sisel lean at breakfast. I think it might be easier to go on a lighter meal in the morning than at lunch. You're looking maybe for a bit more of a meal. So that's just a recommended guideline, and I will make these available if people want to share them or use them. So the first product is that I wanted to talk about was the Fire and Ice. So Fire and Ice has patented hunger control, I guess, science behind it. It helps the body to switch from fat storing to fat burning. It's low glycemic balanced. So that means it doesn't spike your sugar levels, so it helps to keep them even. Has a thermogenic fat burning effect. It has buffered caffeine. So caffeine in standard coffee that you buy gets released pretty quickly, whereas the Fire and Ice caffeine is buffered, so it's slow release. And that means you don't get those spikes of sort of caffeine. It helps to combat stress-related eating. It has a good dose of vitamin C in there. We've got 550 milligrams of C. And it's got most of the B vitamins, or a lot. It's got B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, B7 and B5. So really great B vitamin boost, which is why it really helps with energy and mental clarity. And especially if you're deficient in some B vitamins, you'll really notice a pickup. So really love this product. Has a pleasant mango taste as well. So fantastic product. It has a sweetener in it, but it's made from a stevia type sweetener that Tom's patented a special one that he uses for the Sisel products. So it's a safe, natural, or as natural as it can be, sweetener. So that's the Fire and Ice. Okay, and so the Sisel weight loss program, so I've already talked about that. So the Sisel Lean product comes in chocolate or vanilla. It actually contains two types of protein. It contains caseinate and whey protein. So whey protein is a short-acting protein, so it gets digested fairly quickly, whereas caseinate is a longer-lasting protein, is a slower. So it actually is more filling, and I think that's what gives it that really thick, fluffy texture. I think it really tastes wonderful, particularly the vanilla. I think it's like, well, from what I remember, because I haven't had one for many years, would be a vanilla thick shake, say from McDonald's. It really has a really nice, lovely, sweet vanilla taste. So I do like the vanilla. It keeps you full for longer because it's got the combination of the two proteins, and it helps to balance blood sugar levels. So I know that people who are diabetic, and if you are diabetic, just a disclaimer to consult your health professional before starting nutrition program if you've got diabetes. But I have heard people who do have it really have got great results on this product. It helps with bone density and muscle building. So I think it tastes like a dessert. It has the sweetness of sugar without the calories. It has a little amount of fiber in there too, so that helps you keep you regular. So a lot of proteins don't have any in it. There's over 50 trace minerals, and it's packed full of vitamins, so it's a good nutritional balance. It's cost effective and much cheaper than many protein bars. It's free from contaminants, so we use an organic milk, Tom said. It goes through a cold filtration process. It maintains all its peptides and polypeptides remain active, and serum proteins, which is not standard in most proteins. They're denatured and basically dead protein. And so again, you can use it after a workout or as a meal replacement. It also has the Fibersol, which is a patented version of a sweetener, and it helps with good bacteria in the bowel as well. It doesn't get utilized by the body. It acts as a fiber. So that is a great product there. Okay, so Sisel H2 stick. So it just helps and assists the body with cell signaling. This is from the Sisel site, by the way. And it also helps to encourage the body's healthy inflammatory response. Great for weight management. I know people have taken this product with awesome results. They've found that it does help to curb cravings, particularly for chocolates and sweets, and gives a good boost of energy. It can help and support the body with aches and pains, because magnesium can be really beneficial to the body, especially under times of stress. Magnesium, which is in this product too, helps with cortisol levels as well. So that's really good. Helps with neurological function. So there's lots of great things that you can read on the screen that it does. And it has a pleasant taste and is fast acting. So another great thing about magnesium too is it helps you go to the toilet, which many of you, if you've been taking it, might notice. So that's really good too, because you want to keep things moving. So that is the Sisel H2 stick. And we definitely cannot go without mentioning Age Pill. It's just such a great product. And the reason people find that it really can help and support their weight loss journey or weight maintenance is because it's helping the body to support the boosting of cellular energy. And if you've got more energy, now you're more likely, okay, I'm not feeling as tired. I don't really want to sit and watch TV. I prefer to get out and do something. And then if you're more active, that'll help you maintain a healthier weight. It also overall has ingredients, obviously, that support healthier functioning of our cells. So if our cells are communicating better because the cellular sludge has been reduced, and if our stem cells are functioning better because it's supporting those, then again, we're going to feel better, and that will help in the long run then with weight management. I know Tom Senior said after he started taking this product, he really got down to a weight that he was trying to achieve. He found it really helped to shift that. And finally, it definitely supports improved mood, which is really important, because if we can control and support our mood better, then we're more likely we'll be easier to be able to address emotional eating too. We feel happier. So that's the Age Pill. Okay, so then the last slide here, just as a few more tips with the weight loss. So 2 servings of fruit a day is recommended. Again, it's for the fiber and helps to keep things moving. Fruit is high in fiber and water and has a good amount of nutrients, but generally very low calorie compared to other foods. 3 cups of vegetables a day. This is a tricky one for people because sometimes it can be hard to get them into their meals. So if you can start including more vegetables in your diet, that will really help, because you're filling your tummy full of nutrient-dense, low-calorie foods. Therefore, there's less space for all the other junky foods. I've touched on fiber, the importance of eating fiber every day. So 25 grams is recommended for women and 30 grams for men. The average person only eats around 10 grams of fiber. This is a big problem because fiber helps with insulin regulation. It helps with cholesterol, helps with blood pressure, bowel health, and definitely weight. So, even increasing your fiber just in itself, you may find that you release some few extra pounds. 8 glasses of water a day, so that's really important. And of course, the recommendations are to include more of the whole grains, foods, nuts, legumes, fruit, and vegetables. So watch fat intake too. If you're having a high fat diet, obviously if you're on a keto diet, that's different. And keto diets do work for weight loss, but if you don't follow the guidelines and you have too much, you can find that you gain weight instead of losing it. If you're currently only eating 2 meals a day, then you probably need to go to 1 meal with the Sisel and have the Sisel lean for the other. Again, it would come back to how much calories you're consuming in your day, whether or not it works or not. And that's where I mentioned at the start of this presentation, it is important to try and get a little bit better understanding of energy values of food and, figure out how much energy, like how many calories a day can I eat to kind of maintain my weight, and how many, if I eat more than that, how much, weight will I gain? It's not something you have to go around counting calories, but just to educate yourself a little bit about energy value of foods. I highly recommend it. If you're hungry before bed, you could have half a serve of Sisel lean, and that would help sustain you throughout the night. For For the H2 stick, if you're taking that, definitely carefully follow the instructions for the maximum effect. I've had people take this product and they've made it up in a bottle, not the Sisel H2 stick bottle, just a normal bottle. And then they've had a sip and then screwed the lid on and left it for the rest of the day and then started drinking the rest at night. Of course, the hydrogen's already been released from that product. So if you're going to do it like that, you would be recommended to buy the Sisel H2 stick bottle. Otherwise, otherwise, you won't get the maximum effect. And recommend before starting, we've talked about SupraDetox, because that can really kick someone. They can get excited because if they do stand on the scales, they're going to show probably weight loss just from losing that backlog of material, and that will help further encourage them to continue on their journey. Plus, they're going to feel better, as Marsha said, how much better she felt. So that was the end of my presentation for tonight, and I'll share these slides for anyone who wants to use them. So if there was any questions, I'll just check the chat.
We've got a couple of questions, Katie.
Yes, thanks, Ian. Go on.
Okay, one was from Rita Lambrose. I'll read it to you. Katie and I bought 4 detoxes for family members, and I have also had another 4 people buy it. Every tub had between 14 and 15 tabs in it. Your schedule shows that we need to take 10 of them. Are you able to advise, please? I believe that, you've got 15 tablets, but 10, but you may need to repeat a day.
Yes, that's right. Yes, there's extra tablets in the bottle just in case someone needs some extra, because as it said on the guidelines, it said that if you're not getting the desired results, you may need to increase the dose. So they've just given a few extra in there to accommodate just in case you do need some extra. Yeah.
Next question is from Wayne. Do you still eat normally on the product? I assume he means the detox.
Yes, you can still eat normally, but as suggested at the end of this slideshow, the average person's only eating about 10 grams of fiber a day. So, if you can try and increase your fiber in your diet, and that comes from things like whole grains, nuts, legumes, vegetables, and fruit. Animal product, dairy, meat, yogurt, cheese has 0 fiber in it. And so if you're eating too heavy on that side and not enough on the other side, you can see that you can get quickly clogged up again. So that's why some people take the SupraDetox more regularly, because they tend to eat more that way. So did that answer the question? I'm not sure if I answered it.
Marsha has a Marsha has a question. Is there a benefit to taking Siseline if you don't need to lose weight?
So in the instance where you'd use Siseline is if you're in a hurry and you didn't have time to prepare a meal, you might want to have a Siseline because you're on the fly and you don't have time. The other benefit would be if you've increased your exercise and you weren't eating enough protein before, that would probably help you after a workout at the gym. But it's really for weight maintenance or for weight loss. And muscle building, you could, also use it for that if you're actually trying to gain muscle too. Although we do have the Sisel Rip, which I didn't touch on tonight. But there are a few scenarios where it could be beneficial,
Yeah. Rita had another question for you. Katie, any recommendations on how to take fire and ice and how much liquid with each serve, please?
So I've generally found that about at least 750 ml to 1 litre of water per sachet. That gets it to about the right sweetness depending on your taste buds. If you do it too concentrated, it probably could upset your stomach. So you don't want to go too low on the water. A, it would probably be too sweet, and B, a bit too intense with the ingredients. So probably 750 ml to a litre per, sorry, my phone's dinging, per sachet. Yeah. And you can adjust accordingly depending on your desire.
Another one from Carmel Campbell. Doesn't mucoidal plaque also store heavy metals in it?
Yes, it does. And Ian, you could speak to that. You did a whole presentation on it.
I did. It does it. And it's very important to remove it.
It does. Is that right? Yeah. It does do that.
It does. Yeah. Yes, it does. Another question from Anita Coy. Yeah. Is Siseline vegan?
No, it's not. Vegan. So Siseline's made from cow's milk. The whey protein extract and the casein comes from cow's milk. So it would be considered a dairy product. However, it is free from lactose and milk fat. So those are two things that can upset people, is lactose and milk fat. So generally, if they're removed, a lot of people, you know, are quite comfortable taking it. However, if you're somebody who's allergic to proteins in dairy, then it wouldn't be suitable for you. Or if you were, you know, vegan into not eating anything from an animal.
Yeah. One more question, Katie, from Rita again.
Yes.
With the Fire and Eyes, is the intention to have the whole 750 or 1 litre as a whole morning snack per slide earlier, or is it to be sipped over the morning period?
You can take it how you like. So I would drink the whole. In the instances where I've been doing competitions and that, I would drink 750 mils in a session over the course of probably an hour and a half for that pick me up. But again, it'll be up to the individual too, because you might find some people can be quite sensitive to it. It does have buffered caffeine in it. It's got a fairly decent amount. I think it's got 120 milligrams of buffered caffeine, which is probably equivalent to 2 cups of coffee, 2 cups of strong coffee, but it is buffered and slow release. So, you know, if that's too strong for you, you can always go half the sachet. So it'll be up to the individual. Yep.
Yeah. Rita says, thank you for that one. Another question here is, can I use almond milk
with the Sisel lean? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you can use almond milk. Just bearing in mind that at the end of the day, it's all going to be about calories. So I think your almond milk, I don't think almond milk's that high in calories. I think you're looking at about 60 or 70 calories per glass. So say the Sisel lean's 100 calories. Well, it is for the chocolate. It's less for the vanilla. And then you add the cup of almond milk, you've bumped up the calories. But in the whole scheme of thing, if you were following the program correctly, you would still lose weight if you were eating 3 square meals and skipping 1 meal to add in the Sisel lean instead. Then that would still work for you.
Yeah, that's the finish of the questions. Thanks, Katie.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can add coconut as well. So again, that's where I come back to the point about understanding energy value of food, and really what the Sisel lean is helping you to achieve is to maintain, keep that hunger away, keep you full and not craving things, but also reducing that calorie intake. So, all right, great. I think I've gone a few minutes over with the questions. Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. If you've got any questions about this, feel to message me, call me or email me. I don't know if you can tell I love this topic. I've really interested in it, and I've learned a lot about it.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night and a great week.
Yeah.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kate.
Thanks.
Thanks, Katie.